I'm seeing people in the chat.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I just taking a look at that. I just wanted to double check and not say anything.
Wow.
I just
We
pulled up
are
the
now
stream.
officially live. Can you guys see our screen? Oh my gosh. What do you see on the screen?
There we are.
What are we looking at on the screen right now? Are we live?
We're officially live now.
We're live. All right, we are officially live. Wow, that's embarrassing. I clicked live on OBS, but never on YouTube. All right, well, guys, welcome in to the PRA Stock Series first annual draft day. We have 16 drivers that's going to get their name called, and will be joining a franchise for this upcoming season. This is going to be an amazing opportunity for all these free agents. They're going to have an opportunity to showcase their ability throughout the offseason and see if they are worthy officially getting a spot. Just because you get drafted on a team, you don't get a golden ticket to the active roster. You're going to have to perform in the offseason starting next week with the series placements time trials. You will be unofficially on a team. You'll have your teammates that you can practice with all week. But then when it's time to put on that helmet, put on your racing gloves and settle in, it's showtime to see if you can prove your worth, because you might not make the team, but you have a chance to have your name called tonight. Guys, we are locked and loaded and ready to go. We have an amazing night in front of you. I just want to go ahead and break down what's going on here. So I'm going to pop up the draft order onto the screen. All right, and this draft order, let me pop it up for my good friend Wired. This draft order is reverse from what? Let me see. This draft order is reversed from the franchise standings. So, with the franchise standings, the people who finished in last place, Atlantic Captain Racing, he will have the opportunity to select the first overall pick. There's a lot of at stake here. This could be a guy that turns your team around. Atlantic has the opportunity to get a franchise guy that can not only perform solo, but can really turn a franchise around. Wire.
Yes, sir.
You're live. Welcome in, buddy. I think I hogged the mic in my monologue long enough. What's going on, my friend?
Man, I'm very excited. It's been a long time since I've been up in the booth with you, B-Dog. It's good to be in the booth with you. I'm excited to see who, obviously, the first overall pick is. A lot of strong racers in that draft class for sure.
And guys, I know someone said my mic was probably a little bit too quiet, so just let us know when our mic is a little bit quiet. I'm going to try to adjust as much as I can. So you see the draft order. 2 rounds, snake draft. Now, here are the draftees. We have 25 drivers. All right. This is the crazy part, is we have 3 Elite Series drivers that did not get picked up. They did not get picked up in the whole off season, or in the whole season 1. And we had guys like KTB Killa, Mill, and Jay Hipsa performing quite well. And then you have 6 challengers, 10 elite, and 10 sportsmen and 6 drivers that have been undrafted. From this list, Wired, who do you think is going to be a shocker?
I mean, I got to show some love to my buddy Perry. I raced with him all season in Sportsman, and based on some of the results that I've seen, he has been grinding this offseason and getting really, really fast.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, I'm curious to see what's going to happen. We have a lot of names. We have Rum Runner, your Sportsman Series champion, did not get picked up at all. Well, it's time to get this thing started. Matt Morg is officially on the clock. I think he is already put in his selection. So, without further ado, with the first pick in the Season 1 PRA Stock Series Draft, Atlantic Championship Racing selects Red line on canvas. Wow. I thought for sure he was going to go number one. I don't know why I said wow. That's not a shocker at all, actually. So what we're going to do, we actually have him on standby. Let's go ahead and move the number one overall pick into the broadcast. Joining us now is Red Line on canvas. Red Line, you are taking with the number one overall pick. You will be joining the Atlantic Championship Racing team. How do you feel, buddy?
I feel really good, man. It's nor surprising nor it's just great, man. Just be here and being able to be drafted in the first round here.
Yeah, very, very strong pickup for that Atlantic Championship team for sure. I mean, you really showed your stripes in that combine, placing first overall in the combine. So I'm definitely not surprised to see you go first here.
What we just mentioned earlier, there's a lot of guys, those franchise guys that can really not only perform individually for a franchise, but can turn around a franchise. You're joining a team that finished last in the franchise standings. Okay, they had 19 total starts and 24 laps led. So that's not really that many laps led across the whole entire series. What are you looking to bring to this team?
Well, I think it's really about really having a good team to back me, and if I can help them be faster, and I really do think I can help them really start climb up the standings in the PRA series. It's all about putting the time in, putting the strategies together, and just really working things out with the team. I believe this team, since they drafted me, I really do think that I could work with them if that's all possible.
I mean, you're joining a team right now. Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty. All right, so you have Matt Morg, he's locked in. You have I Am Lost and Massive. They both have one season left on their deal, so they look to be good for this season. But you have Franklin, that hasn't been re-signed yet. Re-signing is going to be happening next week or 2 weeks from now, and then you have Diff Snicka that has not been locked into a long-term deal. So the team's you really don't know which direction it's going to go. So I think, honestly, it's a great pick. I feel like you are going to really provide a lot of knowledge to this team, and I'm excited to see the transition that they'll make from Season 0 to Season 1.
Me too. I'm really excited too.
Alrighty, well, that was your number one overall pick. And we have D-Boy Racing is now on the clock. D-Boy Racing is currently on the clock. Thank you, Redline. Have a good one.
You too.
Wow. Redline on canvas with the first overall pick. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, as I said, no surprises there. He performed really, really well in the combine, and it's going to a team where I think he really can provide a lot of knowledge about the game to them, and hopefully we see that Atlantic Championship team climb up the franchise leaderboards this season.
Yeah, I mean, guys, welcome in. If you are not sure what this is the PRA Stock Series Draft Day. We had a 5-week Season 0 this past month, and these are the guys that are the free agents who didn't get picked up, and now they have their opportunity to join into a team. So we already have D-Boy Racing on the clock, and we already have their pick. Wired, can you see the pick?
I can.
You want to go ahead and break the news?
Absolutely. With the second overall pick in the Season 1 PRA Stock Series Draft, D-Boy Racing, captained by Yurt, will be selecting KTB Killer.
Wow. Now, here's a guy that I thought would have fell down a little bit into the draft. And the reason why I say that is because he didn't have that best average finish in the Elite Series, okay? He had an 8.8 average finish. That's 13th best in all of the Elite Series. So, yeah, that's iffy. But you look, he had a 0% DNQ. This man did not miss a single race at all.
Yeah, and I know that was a problem with some of the teams where drivers weren't able to make all the races, or maybe might just not have enough time, or maybe not as up to racing every week as others. So I think having that 0% DNQ is really important in terms of getting points for your team.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 100% show up rate, so he was at every single race, 0 DNQs. He qualified. His average qualifying lap was the third highest between Challenger and Elite. Okay? He qualified an average of 5.25. That's top 5. You know that you're going to be drafted top 5. That's crazy. Or qualifying top 5 whenever you get the chance. You're going to load into the lobby. You're making the race. Simple as that. That's a good pickup. That is an extremely good pickup for Yurt's team, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yurt, they kind of struggled a little bit. They only had 21 laps led last season. All right, in that Chevy camp, you had the NTG Elite Racing guys. They ended up winning the franchise standings because they actually the other Chevy camp, NTG Elite Racing, tied with Rings of Saturn in the franchise standings, but they had more wins. So, you got one Chevy team on top, one Chevy team towards the bottom. That's going to be a pick that's going to provide a lot of consistency when they need it, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you are struggling to qualify and stuff, having that solid guy who's there every week, qualifies every week, that's going to be a really strong pickup for the team for sure.
And KTB Killer, he had 27 laps led last season in the Elite Series, so he's not afraid, and he's not a stranger of being up in the front whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's always a good quality to have. I mean, being up front and being pressured by guys that, you may not think they're faster than you, but they have draft. There's always going to be someone faster. And being calm like that is going to be really important.
Most definitely. Well, what a good snag there by D-Boy Racing, getting KTB Killer. Wow. Alrighty. So, we already got 2 picks down. Alright? And Captain Racing has already been on the clock, and they've already made a selection. So, with the 3rd pick of the Season 1 PRA Stock Series Draft, Captain Racing selects I Think I Can W.
Man.
Whoa, what a bombshell draft pick that is.
Man, oh man.
When you hear that name on Wreckfest, you kind of clinch up a little bit.
Yeah, W is a guy that I've raced with for many seasons over in the PSN Wreckfest side of things. A good buddy of mine, super fast over there. He's only had GT7 for, I think, 3 weeks, and he's already proving to be faster than me and faster than a lot of people over on GT7. The kid has talent when it comes to racing.
Yeah, you're not kidding. As you can see up on the board, that's the updated draft board. W, he's the second all-time. He's second all-time on the wins list. He's right behind Luke Man with... Luke Man has 95. I think W has 44 the last time we checked. He might have more than that now. We just have to recalculate the wins. So when you see I Think I Can W, it's very humble that his gamer tag is I Think I Can W. Because it looks like to me he knows he can W. For sure.
Yeah, and that was always the running joke back in PSN Wreckfest days, is we need to change this guy's name because he does not stop winning.
I mean, he was the 4th quickest in the combine. So if you go ahead and look at the trend here, you got Redline was taken, he was the 1st quickest in the combine. All right, KTB was next, he was the 5th quickest, and then I Think I Can W was the 4th quickest. Like you said, he was getting used to the game. He had an average finish of 12th in the Challenger Series. All right, his average qualifying times, he was the 17th fastest guy in the league. All right, but that's kind of skewed a little bit because he didn't race the full season. He only competed in 1 race, and that was at Spa. And that was a rain race as well. So, you really can't look too much into that. But coming into season 1, I mean, he's joining a team now. Captain Racing, let me just go ahead and just name out these names, all right? And you tell me if this isn't the perfect fit for him. You got Captain Napkins, Wired, which is yourself, AYDY, and Hyper are all guaranteed to be on squad. That is Wreckfest.
Yeah, that is PRA Wreckfest in a nutshell. I mean, we're all guys. Me and Captain, I think, are the two newest to PRA Wreckfest out of that list of guys, and we've been here for 6-7 seasons now.
Wow, that's going to be crazy to see you guys compete. I mean, talk about anybody needing a turnaround. I don't think on paper you guys are like ridiculously stacked. It's just putting together those consistent races.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was kind of my struggle last season. It is what it is. I'm still getting used to GT7, but now that I have more practice, got a season under my belt, I'm hoping to really turn things around this season.
All right, I just want to let you know that we have Team Aftershock, the Ford team, owned by Trent, 12999. It's on the clock with the 4th overall pick. So far, I mean, we know W raced in Challenger last season, but he's definitely looking to make the jump up to Elite. This guy has progressed so much since he picked up this game. Just looking at where he was just over the course of 3 weeks. So,
yeah, like I said, this kid has incredible talent when it comes to racing games. He's always been a very strong competitor, learns fast. I'm not surprised to see him in that number 3 slot.
Alrighty, well, we're going to go ahead and move on. It looks like the 4th overall pick is in. If you want to take it away for me, Wired.
Absolutely. So, coming in with pick number 4 of the PRA Stock Series Draft, Team Aftershock, captained by Trent, will be selecting Racer Chick 82.
Wow.
That's
a shock and not a bad way. Because you know she's a gamer. Racer Chick is an absolute gamer. But
yeah, she is. She's another one that came over from the Wreckfest side of things. I've raced with her a lot. She picks up on things really quick, and I won't be surprised if she ends up making her way up to Challenger here really quickly.
So let's just look at some of her statistics here, because when she came on the scene, her first race at Tsukuba in the rain race, she put it P3. I think that was Tsukuba, or I think Watkins Glen was before that.
Watkins Glen was her first race.
Yeah, but
where she finished P5 or P6.
And then she came out the next week and put it P3 at Tsukuba. You talk about somebody that's not rattled by competition. You look at her by the numbers. She has the 5th best overall finish in the Sportsman Series, okay? Like, and her fastest race time lapse with the Sportsman guys in that Miata was 4th. All right, so she had an average of 4.5. So you know she has top 5 speed, and that's coming over from Wreckfest. We have a lot of people coming over from Wreckfest. We don't really know what to expect, you know.
Yeah, it'll definitely be fun to see all my friends over there, see how they do over here. They're already all doing better than me, so you know it is what it is. But I'm happy to see it for them.
The big thing about you, Wired, is you got to put together a clean race, man.
I'm all about rallying. I like to go to the back after one lap and then see how far I can make it up.
you aggravate me because you qualify so good and then you just throw it away. You throw it away in the first corner.
I think a lot of it is I'm still like I said, I was still trying to get used to the whole drafting thing and being on a different actual sim racing rather than Wreckfest. And I'm getting used to that, so I'm going to turn it around. I promise you, I will have a good finish this season.
Well, I would love to see it. It'd make me happy to see my friend perform as well as I know you can. All right, guys. Before we get into the 5th overall pick, the selection's already been made. I want to look here at these combine times, just so you guys can understand where everybody's at here when it comes to speed. You're looking at. Let me pull it up for you, Wired. That way you can see it as well. So when we look at these speeds, the fastest guy has been taken off the board. Red line. He's been taken off the board. we still have some people that's pretty fast. Vanilla had a good Brands Hatch. All right, great Brands Hatch. He second overall time, really good. Redline, consistent, 3, 3, 4. What's the biggest standout that you see from this?
Man, like I said, I gotta say, my man Perry, he was racing with me in the Sportsman Series. There's a lot of guys below him that were in series above, so he's really been putting in that time.
Most definitely. Well, I do think that this pick is in. And with the 5th overall pick in the 2023 Season 1 PRA Stock Series Draft, Lost Luck Racing, owned by John Wesses Hutt at Samalful, will select Perry 7-4-11. Congratulations to Perry.
Very, very, very good pick. From what I've raced with him, he's super clean, has a really consistent pace. He's going to be a strong competitor this season.
Most definitely. I'm excited to see how this man performs. He's new. Season 0 is his first season, okay? So, I mean, he's coming in. He came in with Root, his good friend Root, all right? And Root's still on the board. He came in with Root. And Perry just lit it up this season in the Sportsman Series. I mean, he had some really good finishes. Looking at his average finish, he had a few times where he kind of got messed up a little bit in the races. His average finish is 8.4, but that doesn't tell the full story because he was the second quickest qualifier in the Sportsman Series. You know, he didn't DNQ a single time.
Yeah, and as we said earlier with KTB Killer, anybody who's going to make the field every time is always going to be a strong pickup. Just in terms of having those consistent points coming in for your franchise.
And I just want to let you guys know something. Out of the 10 or 11, no, there's 10. Out of the 10 Sportsman Series free agents, only 4 made the field every single time.
Really?
Perry, Racer Chick, Vanilla, Hufu.
Yeah, I mean there were a lot of racers in that Sportsman Series, so it was tough to get in to begin with, but you know, having those 4 people with a 0% DNQ rate, I wouldn't be surprised if those were the top 4 to go for the Sportsman Series.
I want to pull up something here, and it's really important that we touch on some of these statistics here. We look at the championship standings from the Sportsmanship Series. Rum Runner obviously won. He had 3 wins on the season. But Perry, he led 11 laps. All right, so he knew what it was like to be up in the front. I mean, he didn't. The person that led the most laps was Nitro with 76 in the Sportsman Series. But he knew what it'd take to get up to the front.
Yeah, and you know, being fast and starting in the front, or starting a little bit farther behind and trying to catch up, are 2 very different things.
Yeah, I mean, he had amazing opportunities, most definitely. He led 4 laps at Watkins Glen. You know, he started 3rd, finished 3rd there, and I'm excited to see how he's going to do. Alrighty, well, King Saturn has made his selection, and with his selection, you're taking this one away.
Yeah, this is my turn. Come on now.
Sorry.
With the 6th overall pick, King Saturn from Teams Rings of Saturn are going to be selecting another commentator of ours in Boring Peppers.
Wow. Boring Peppers, what's your thought on that pick?
You know, he I believe was racing in the Challenger Series. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of that, but from what I saw, he seemed to be pretty consistent, you know, fast guy. Let's see where his
average
overall
finish.
picking rank.
Yeah, I mean
5.7.
5.7 overall finish, so basically a walk-in top 5.
Yeah, walking top 5, 8th overall in the combine results. So, you know, going a couple slots ahead of what his results say he should, but I'm not surprised. He also had a 0% DNQ rate.
That's the big thing. is getting guys that do not DNF every single week. Or DNQ every single week, because you want them to have a chance to race, and it's so competitive to get to these races. Just seeing that, man, it's impressive that they're able to get in every race because it's so competitive.
Yeah, every series was super competitive. You know, just being able to qualify in this series is not an easy task. So definitely picking up guys that are consistent is the way to go.
All right, so let's go ahead and get King Saturn in the booth. I do want to talk to him and see what his thought process was. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over King Saturn right into the broadcast booth. King Saturn, B-Dog, Wired in the booth. How's it going, buddy? King Saturn, B-Dog, Wired in the booth. You got a copy?
No.
How's it going?
Man, that's crazy, ain't it?
So, Boring Peppers, what was your thought process there picking him up?
I really needed a driver for Challenger, and I feel like he's a guy that is fast enough to bring home some wins and some podiums, and that's what I really need.
I mean, it's a good pick. Now, was he your first overall pick that you kind of were like eyeing from the beginning of the draft, or did you have to alter your game plan a little bit?
I definitely had to alter a little bit because that wasn't necessarily where I was looking to begin with, but it's where I ended up having to go.
Well, it's definitely not a bad place to have to end up. Very solid driver for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
No.
if he is your if he's your second option, you did a great job picking that man because he's going to be extremely fast.
I feel like a team, for the team as a whole, he brings a lot to the team. And I think that was what put him above a lot of the other guys that may be a little faster than him.
Awesome. Well, man, Boring Peppers taking 6th overall. I'm going to go ahead and put you back into the war room, buddy, and get ready for a second round pick.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good night.
Yep, you as
too,
well.
buddy.
Oh, we have Boring Pepper. We're moving Boring Pepper into the broadcast right now. Boring Pepper's the 6th overall pick in the PRA Stock Series draft. What a surprise, buddy. How are you?
Well, I feel good after that. I'll say that.
Man, how do you feel joining a stacked, okay, King Saturn's team? You got to remember, this guy tied for the franchise standings here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, very excited to join a team that looks like that, and ready to get cracking, get to work, and start pumping laps and figuring out strategies and doing whatever it takes to bring them to the front.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this team, this King Saturn's team, the Rings of Saturn, like I said, is pretty stacked. You have Nitro putting on an absolute clinic for the squad. I mean, they have 3 wins on the season and 116 total laps led. Like, they know how to get to the front. So bringing you on, wow, I think that's going. Oof, there's going to be a lot of scary teams, and I don't think Rings of Saturn is going to have a sophomore slump either.
Yeah, I mean, I think with that sort of pace on display, you got to fit into the team and have a good understanding. Obviously, I'm racing to be at the front as much as possible, but I consider myself a bit of a team player as well, and whatever it takes to help the team move forward, I'm happy to do, and I'll battle where I need to battle.
All right, well, that is Boring Peppers, the 6th overall pick. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, Wired. So we already have our 7th pick of the draft. That is coming from our franchise owners, the standings champion. So this was statistically the best team on paper last season, and that's NTG Elite Racing. I mean, when you look at this team, I'm a part of this team. All right, I wasn't able to contribute to too much success on the team. All right, but we were able to do pretty well. We had 6 wins on the season. All right, we had 143 laps led. Turismo, Elite Series champion on our team. All right, Subtle Flex, Elite Series champion. and I contribute absolutely nothing to the team. I didn't lead a single lap all season. I finished top 5 in points. That's okay. But Pocono had 3 wins. And if you look at Pocono's lap times, the franchise owner Pocono, he wasn't that fast. It was the strategy that allowed him to perform the way that he did.
Yeah, and I watched some of those races, and you could tell that Pocono strategies were on point almost every single race. I mean, when you look at this Challenger Series leaderboard here, I'm looking at first place championship Challenger winner was 11T. He had 70 laps led. Pocono, was lacking in that front, but his strategy was able to pull away with more wins.
Yeah, 29 laps led. Pocono 29 laps led. But I'm excited to see the picks in for NTG Elite Racing. And with the 7th overall pick in the Season 1 PRA draft, NTG Elite Racing selects Millie X2.
Man, that's a surprising pick. He fell pretty far.
Wow. I am absolutely ecstatic we get this man on our team. Are you kidding me?
Man, this guy was projected to go 3rd overall based on his combine results, and here he is dropping to the 7th pick. That's an amazing pickup.
And here's the thing. We saw King Saturn just come in here and talk about how he picked Boring Peppers because he thinks he's going to be a good Challenger Series driver. A lot of people might be set in that Elite Series role. And they might not need another Elite Series driver. They might need a Racer Chick goes. She's going to be a great Sportsman Series driver, So, I mean, having him drop down to the 7th overall pick and joining us, welcome in, Mill. We are really, really excited to have you, buddy.
Yeah, and based on what I saw on your team, obviously you had Turismo going crazy, but having that second strong elite driver will be a really, really solid pickup for that team.
Most definitely. Now, I'm going to drag Pocono into the booth because he specifically told me that he did not want to join in the booth. And I accidentally dragged somebody else into the wrong. Pocono said, do not put me in the booth. But Pocono, what a steal getting Millie.
Yeah, I totally agree. He was my last Elite Series driver on the board, so I'm really happy to get him.
Oh, wow. I mean, he's going to provide very good input with Turismo in that Elite Series for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. Turismo's excited as well. Just talked to him, and it works out because I want 2, 2, and 2 in each series, so that's the goal, and it's working out.
All righty. Well, thank you, Pocono. Get ready for your 2nd round pick, buddy.
Yep, will do. See.
All righty. Now, we're going to do something different here. We're going to bring into the booth Wolf Pack. We're going to bring him in because he has back-to-back picks. As you can see, he has back-to-back picks. What's going on, Wolf?
Another day, another dollar.
All right. Well, we don't know who you've picked. The stream does not know. So, starting with your 1st round pick, the 8th overall pick, please tell us who you selected.
So, the person I decided to choose, and I've conversated with you on it a little bit throughout the last season before I even decided to become a franchise owner. I decided to grab Rum Runner. Saw he was running real good last season.
I want to know how. Maybe Rum Runner's just an awful person. Love you, Rum Runner, and I'm joking because me and him are like that. All right, I like Rum a lot. Rum's a great addition to the league. There's a great Sportsman Series champion. Okay, a great person to have that title for this league.
100%.
How did this man not get picked up? And how did he fall to the last pick in the 1st round? It does not make sense to me. It does not make sense to me, and it will never make sense with me.
That there is a good question that I cannot answer to you, but I'm very happy you didn't. And I'm very happy I picked him up. I love his energy. I love his personality. I talked to him when we were running in the free agent trials. And there was just something about him. He had a good energy. I was liking it. I was digging it. I feel like he's going to be a good run this year.
Yeah, and he's moving up to the Challenger Series. You don't win the Sportsman Series championship and stay there. He's definitely moving up to the Challenger Series. And it blows my mind. He's first in all divisions. Average finish is second. Average qualifying position was third. Okay? Like,
he had good strategy and he had good speed. What can you say?
Like, he killed it. He killed it in the Miatas. Now, the Sportsman Series is switching over from the Miatas to the Silvias this year. So there might be some people that emerge and some people that fall. Who knows? But, all right. You got Rum Runner. Wow, what a freaking pickup.
That's a steal.
Let's go ahead and get Rum Runner into the booth. Rum Runner, congratulations, man. You're a first-round draft pick in the PRA Stock Series.
Oh, wait, give him a second.
Give him a second to collect his thoughts. He's standing up. He's in the kitchen hugging his mom. I think they're crying.
Cracking some champagne.
He's cracking some champagne. He's got to talk to his agent real quick. Give him some time to get him up on the stage. Rum Runner. All right, man. I think I heard some crying in the background. Man, this guy's all over the place. Oh my gosh. Well, as we wait on Rum, I think he's coming in.
He's trying to get his mic working. I think he's got some earbuds and they're not cooperating with him.
All right. Well, Rum, just hold your tongue here, buddy. Wolf, go ahead and let us know who the first pick in the second round is going to be.
First pick in the second round is going to be Hufu 24.
Wow. So what was your thought process going with Hufu? Back-to-back sportsmanship drivers. Series.
So I had a few drivers after Rum Runner that I was thinking of picking up, and both of them got snagged, unfortunately. Well, let's see. I was looking at the stats and I was looking at everything. 80% show up rate. It's only missing one race, which isn't horrible. I feel like there's a lot of growth within this gentleman that we got there. I was watching him. He was there, and then he wasn't. He was there. So I feel like he's got some improvement and some growth. So I'm taking a swing. Taking a good swing on someone.
So I'm going to correct you. Hufu had 100% show-up rate, 0 D&Q. That's a guy. Look, he qualified fourth with a 4.67 average qualifying position in the Sportsmanship Series. That guy, he's a walking row 2, basically. You put him, it's going to be a walking row 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a strong pickup there for sure. I mean, another guy that I race with, Hufu, another guy with great energy, super fun to race with, super nice guy, and he's going to provide some good racing for your team for sure.
Hey, you got me?
Oh, we have Rum Runner. He's done hugging the family. He's done kissing the babies. He's done crying. Buddy, you are a first-round selection, the Sportsman Series champion. I don't know how you lasted this long on the board.
Yeah, me and Wolf's communicated a little bit, and he was definitely interested early, and we just let the season play out, and I'm glad to be a part of this team.
Wow. Well, I mean, what do you think you can contribute to this brand new franchise coming in? I mean, there's 0 expectations. Who knows what's going to happen?
Well, definitely, I could probably help some people come up to speed a little bit. I'm still learning myself. I really try to be consistent in my racing time-wise, and it seemed to work out pretty good in the Sportsman Series last year.
All righty. Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate both of you guys, and good luck this season. That is the inaugural picks for Pack Racing. That is Mr. Wolfpack Squad. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Anytime.
All righty. So, Wired, it's now your pick. Well, it's not your pick. It's time. It's your time for you to announce the pick.
I wish I could pick. With the 10th overall pick, the second pick in the second round, Mr. Pocono from NTG Elite Racing is going to pick up D. Westberg 7.
This is good. Whew, man, I am pumped to have D. Westberg. You talking about a guy that knows how to race? A freaking legend on the Wreckfest side of things.
A legend for sure. Voted as the nicest guy on Wreckfest. Fun fact.
Come on.
He's going to be a really good pickup for the team. He's a super nice, calm, chill guy. I'm excited to see what he does over on the GT7 side of things.
Now, this was somebody, me and Pocono was talking, going over draft strategy, trying to bounce some ideas off. I said, look, I think D. Westberg is going to be the guy. I really do think D. Westberg is going to be the guy that we need to pick up to match with Hunter or Outlaw 3197 in the Sportsman Series. Both of the guys, the personalities just match.
Yeah, they're both very, very calm guys. Always a good time to hang out with. Really fun to run laps with them, and I think he'll be a really good fit into that team for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I'm pumped to have D. Westberg on the squad. It's going to be an amazing time. So we got Rings of Saturn with the 11th overall pick currently on the clock. He's looking over his decision. I mean, man, so far looking at this list right here, what's the most shocking pick?
The most shocking pick so far, for me personally, and this is no hate on this driver, just because of where the combine was, is Racer Chick going that high up in the draft.
Well, she's going to come at your throat, and I'm going to let her too.
Oh, I know she will, and I fully expect some hate messages very soon.
I just want to look at something, though. Well, when it comes to Team Aftershock, they don't have a Sportsman Series driver. They have Hoodcat.
Now that I know that they didn't have a Sportsman Series driver, that pick actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, they have 3 challengers and 3 elite. So the elite is Hoodcat, Cart, Burnout, which I think is Bayaku, or who joined that O2? Now, the driver of the O2 is Justin, and Justin is a challenger driver. All right, so they have two elite drivers, and the rest are challengers. They have 4 challenger drivers. Nobody is a Sportsman Series driver.
Yeah, and honestly, having that many in one series makes it even tougher to qualify, just because we have the cap per manufacturer.
Yeah, most definitely. And so I mean, picking up her, I think it's going to be a really good pick. Who knows? That's a really stacked roster that she's going into. Who knows if she's going to make the final cut for the team? But she's going to give her best. I know that for a fact. But we have a pick here, and it's the 11th overall pick of the draft. So go ahead and announce this one for me.
Yeah, with the 11th overall pick in the draft, 3rd pick in the 2nd round, King Saturn from the Rings of Saturn are going to pick up Shaggy.
Shaggy! Let's go, Shaggy getting drafted. Wow, dude. Freaking everybody loves Shaggy. All right, he was a driver that was new in the GT Cup series. So basically, before Season 0 of the PRA Stock Series, he was a new driver that joined in. And he didn't get discouraged at all when he didn't qualify for races. He showed up every single week to the point where you knew he was going to come in and he was going to perform pretty well for your squad. I mean, looking at the statistics for Shaggy, he didn't place too bad. I mean, he's going to have a team that's going to be able to teach him. And that's the big thing that Shaggy needs, because he was a free agent. And the big thing about free agents and racing free agents is hard because you don't have that team communication, And Shaggy having a team now, he's a guy that's dedicated. And when you're dedicated, that's all you really need. Have some dedication and the rest will find its way.
Yeah, I mean, even this Season 0, I was racing with him over in the Sportsman Series, and even when he didn't qualify, we all cheered him on, and he said, "Don't worry, I'll be back next week." And having some guidance from a guy like Saturn, I think, will really help him in terms of getting his speed up and his consistency.
Most definitely. We're excited to have Shaggy on board of Rings of Saturn's team. All right, with the 12th pick in the 2023 PRA Stock Series Season 1 draft, Lost Luck Racing selects Smoke for 1. Hey,
Smoke 1-4.
Smoke 4-1, Smoke 1-4. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. Wow. What are your thoughts on the Smoke pickup?
It's an interesting pickup to me. Someone who showed up every week, so he's definitely dedicated. I think this is a guy that John is looking to help out in terms of getting the consistency up, because he did have a 40% DNQ rate. So he did miss a couple races, but if he gets some help from a team, maybe that'll turn around for him.
Yeah, I mean, looking at him, he had a 7.5 average finish. That's 10th best. He qualified. His qualifying lap times was 17.25. Now you got to remember, that's 22nd out of 41 people. All right, 22nd out of 41 people. He's in the top half. All right, so he's no stranger to competing and performing. I mean, he's fast. It just shows how competitive. And Smoke 1 is dedicated to this. There's no doubt in my mind Smoke's going to come and is going to make this team better, because right now John just has John and JP Chips. Both are Sportsman Series drivers. They don't have any big guys in Challenger or Elite. So he's automatically going to be going to the top of the totem pole over there at Lost Luck Racing.
Yeah, it'll be a good spot for him. It's a good pickup for the team, because as you said, there was only Sportsman guys over there. So having some guys in the upper series are really going to help with consistent points, and also just being able to learn from faster guys.
Alrighty, well, we do have the other team on the clock. Let's see what we're doing here. We are looking. I'm going to get this updated draft pick. I know you saw that. I know you saw
to get everything all caught up.
Yeah, I know you saw that private message I just got. All right, that is your updated draft order right there. And Mean Melon, I just exposed you, Mean Melon. You're the 13th pick in Team Aftershock's second pick, Mean Melon. All right, well, looking at some statistics for old Mean Melon. What you think here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a solid pickup. Performed really well in the combine, 12th overall. He's seemed to be kind of a mid-pack challenger guy, and hopefully being with a team that'll push him to grind even more. He only had a 60% show-up rate, so he missed a couple races. But the races that he was there for, 0% DNQ, very solid pickup.
Yeah, most definitely. Extremely solid pickup for the freaking Milan. Oh, the Milan. Let's see. He's in the green room. We're moving him to the broadcast booth. Mean Milan, what's going on? Mean Milan. Howdy. Yeah, he's crying. Oh, never mind. He's not crying. He's here. How's it going, buddy?
It's going all right.
How are you feeling, man? Getting drafted?
A little shocked out, actually.
Shocked? Wow, somebody doesn't have a chip on their shoulder.
Well, I know I missed 2 races during season 0, and my first 2 races weren't the best, but then I did make a good showing on the very last race, and I figured it might really hurt my chances.
Hey, some people, they'll take a look at that one finish, and again, looking at the 0% DNQ rate, and that'll really influence, at least if I was making picks, that would influence my picks for sure.
Yeah, for sure. If a guy can qualify for every race, that's just big. Half the battle's getting in the race. And,
True.
wow. Well, so I want to look at this roster here for Team Aftershock. You have Trent, Bayaku, Lysis, Kart Racing, and then you have Hoodcat and Justin. A stacked freaking team, man. How are you going to make this roster?
Ooh.
You're going to have to compete next week in the series placement, man. That's crazy how stacked that roster is.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to do my best and put my best foot forward.
Regardless, if you don't make the final 6-man roster, you're going to be one of the first people to get picked up by a team. I'm promise you that, because you're a consistent racer. You're consistent, and that's a lot of the challenge is consistency, man. So you're basically, this is a tryout for you next week in the series placement, because when you have a team that already has 6 drivers and you're getting drafted into it, there's not a guaranteed spot for you, but there's a good chance. I mean, they like you. They picked you. You know, they might have just been stuck with the other people on their team. You know, it's kind of like what my sister used to tell me I was adopted. You know, and even though I wasn't adopted, she was like, "Mom adopted you." I was like, "Well, that means she at least chose to have me." You know, so hey, you get drafted. They want you on the squad, dude. You're going to perform so great this year. I'm excited to see how you perform. Before you go, I want to ask you something. What's been your favorite memory so far racing in PRA?
I'd have to say some of the battles during racing and keeping it clean and just going all out. And honestly, the last race, trying to really defend against 11D was really a challenge, and that was really fun.
Well, sir, 11T has, I guess, he took a little hiatus. You know, he's going to go focus on the MRC type of thing. So it looks like you might be next in line to duke it out for the Challenger Championship.
I will do my best this season.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Good luck this year.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All righty. That is Mr. Mean Malone coming to you live from the broadcast booth. Alrighty. We got the 14th overall pick here. You want to go ahead and announce it?
Absolutely. I'm excited about this one. With the 14th pick, Captain Racing, my team representing, we're going to be picking up Root Metal.
Root. Let's go, Root Metal. Man, what you think about that pickup?
I'm excited about this pickup. He's another guy that I race with again in the Sportsman Series. So, you know, now we're kind of getting to that 2-2-2 ratio in the series. He was one that was really fun to race with. As you said, came over with Perry. Very, very fun guy to race with. Fellow Canadian. I'm excited to have him on the team. I'll take every Canadian.
Jeez Louise, talk about the maple syrup's going to be flowing in that lobby. How many Canadians y'all got on y'all's team?
Well, with these new signings, I believe 3 of us are Canadian.
3 Canadian?
Yeah, I believe
much half the team.
I believe myself, Root, and if I'm not mistaken, Fiend for Speed is a Canadian.
For Speed is a Canadian. Oh, that explains his driving. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Fiend.
Hey,
if you're watching, Fiend, love you. Yeah. Who was it one time talking about Canadians drive on the left side of the road? And I was like, no, they don't. I was like, so what happens when you get to the Canadian-American border? It's just like everyone just crashes, I guess.
Nope, don't worry, everybody. We are normal people. We drive on the right side of the road.
Alrighty. Well, I just exposed the 15th overall pick, and that is for D-Boy Racing, Mr. Vanilla Bear. What is going on with that pick? How about that? Vanilla Bear.
That's a solid one, I think.
I thought he was going to get picked up way before then. I mean, he had a really good freaking combine. 7th overall? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see how many of these guys are being shifted around to where the combine said they would be picked.
And zero DNQs.
Again, that to me is the most important stat, is your DNQ rate. If you can make all the races, that's consistent points for your team. Even if they finish in last, you're still getting points.
Alrighty, well, we have Mr. Vanilla Bear. Let's go ahead and move him in here. Vanilla, how's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Are you done crying? Have you popped the champagne?
I am ready to go. Great start to my celebration.
Alrighty. So, you're joining D-Boy Racing. I mean, a team like it's no stranger. They didn't perform too well last season. What do you think you're going to be able to bring to this team?
I'm excited. New to league racing, first league that I've ever joined.
Wow.
Had some unfortunate scheduling issues with placements and season 0. Excited to get into a team to work together. And like you said with the last pick, it's really helpful to have some input from some other teammates and be able to have a better chance in the races. So made a couple of mistakes in the races that I did get to go into, some bad pit changes and tire choices, but excited to continue to grow.
Alrighty. Well, congratulations, Vanilla. We're looking forward to seeing you racing in season 1.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Now, with the final pick, Ward, take it away.
With the final pick of the Season 1 PRA Stock Series Draft, Atlantic Champion Racing, captained by Matt Morg, is going to be picking up Snowstorm.
Wow. Snowstorm. That's a pickup. Mr. Pickup. He missed the draft. But he missed the combine, not the draft. He about missed getting drafted. He missed the combine. And but when you look at his statistics from the season, I mean, pretty solid stuff, you know. He's going to have a lot of ground to improve in Sportsman, and I feel like that's a team where the expectations are kind of low because they finished dead last in the franchise standings. So the expectations are will be low for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Snowstorm slots into this team. If he's going to be a guy who's, you know, working with everybody really hard, trying to improve. You know, I think he'll be that type of guy, and I look forward to seeing that team grow. I mean, it's only up from where you're at.
Alrighty, well, guys, that concludes the PRA Stock Series Draft Day. 16 drivers were selected. If you're watching this and you weren't selected, you can still race as a free agent, and you're going to have every much bit of a chip on your shoulder to prove to these franchises why they didn't select you. Guys, we start the season in a little over a month. We have a lot of things coming at you over the course of the offseason, and we're excited to get this ball moving. Wired, any final words?
Just thank you for coming in and watching the draft. I'm excited to get this season started and get a good